Hi everybody, I am Ingi from Tarot Wikipedia. Thank you for watching. This video is about the Magician Tarot card. I want to explain what it means specifically in love and romance. This card speaks often of your most ideal partner, your partner that is your divine soulmate. There is a completely different story if it's reversed. This is a love fraud, often narcissistic, a liar, a manipulator, exploiter. So be very careful if you keep getting the Magician reversed or surrounded with very negative cards or crossed. Also take good care of yourself if you get a lot of the Kings reversed. That means someone around you has something wrong with that person and they can be very narcissistic as well, or just something not quite right and you have to be very careful. But when the Magician is upright, it is a very positive card. In love, it basically means someone that can communicate with you, who gets you, you have the same type of humor, you get each other more than you get anybody else, so together you are like completely synced. Your mind thinks alike. You're very kind of on the same wavelengths from the beginning. So if you meet this person when you're very young, then maybe you won't even actually know how lucky you are to have met this person, because it's like maybe you think that that's going to happen a lot throughout life, but when you get a bit older you realize that actually it's a very rare thing when that does happen. And even in friendships as well, it's a rare thing, so take good care of it when it does happen. And if you meet this person when you're a bit older, then you will most likely really appreciate this connection, because it is a unique thing when it happens, and it often does. This is a person you meet once in a lifetime, and the Magician is someone who you are very compatible with. So that means when it's good, and when it's bad, it is bad. So it's often someone you also have have a very strong connection with. And if you look in your numerology, if you do numerology, you probably find that you're very linked in the numbers. You kind of want the same things. You kind of have the same goals, and you think alike, and you can make each other laugh, and you look at things the same way. And often also you challenge each other to be better as well. So the Magician is someone who will make you become the best version of yourself, and you want to impress the Magician, and the Magician wants to impress you. So you work extra hard to be the person that you think and believe that your partner deserves to be with. Jealousy can be an issue in this relationship, because the Magician speaks of someone who is such a fun communicator, and that's how you view this person. That you think maybe everybody else sees this person exactly the same way you see this person. So you think that everybody will fall in love with this person, everybody will see what you see, and everybody will get it. And that's just not the case, but because that's maybe what you're thinking, it's easy then to be very jealous and very... Maybe you want to kind of throw a net over the person, and you just want to keep that person to yourself. And maybe the Magician, your partner, feels the same way, and maybe your partner just wants you to be, you don't want to really share. And at the same time, this is a very social, there's a social aspect to this card. It's like you two together, you have that charisma that brings a lot of people to you. A lot of people want to be around you, and friendships and being connected to the community or a community, something that you both are interested in. So this can turn into a very social relationship as well very quickly. You kind of enjoy the social aspects because you have a lot of fun together. As you can see, the Magician here has all the suits here. The wands, cups, pentacles, swords. Actually, there's a wand on the table. He also has a wand in his hand. And that basically symbolizes having a lot of resources, being full of resources, so having a lot of projects going, having a lot of ambition, having a lot of desires to experience life and live life to the fullest. So this is a very active relationship. Now the Magician is connected to the planet Mercury, so it is the planet for communication, and it is also connected to, like Mercury is also connected to Gemini, which is connected to the Lover's card, and it's also connected to Virgo, which is connected to the Hermit card. So it's actually a connection from the Magician straight to the Lover's card and the Hermit card as well, and that can give you a bit of a heads up what to look for as well, because the Magician has such a strong urge to communicate that if you, for example, if you fall in love with someone and you don't hear from that person, or maybe that person doesn't always communicate with you and you don't always know what's going on, most likely that is not the Magician, not your highest and best divine soulmate, because when the Magician is showing up in your life, that's someone who wants to connect with you, who wants to communicate with you, who wants to be with you. And often what happens is that you want to change everything in your life to kind of align yourself with the life that you want to have then with the Magician. So the Lover's card then represents all the decisions you have to make. And the Hermit card is like, think about the long term. What do you want to achieve long term? Because if you rush in things too quickly, you can end up self-sabotaging. And there can be a lot of things going wrong by going about things too quickly. So the Hermit then just say, think about the long game, think about things long term, and don't lose your head. Stay wise, stay centered, don't lose yourself. There is the danger of losing yourself completely in this relationship, because it is such a strong, intense connection. And if you do get the fear of, all the fears that people have in love and romance, abandonment and all these things, that can get triggered. So prepare yourself now if you're single, or if you're in a relationship and you already found your Magician, then still work on self-love and accepting yourself and all that, because that is a strength of character that you will need to enjoy this relationship to the fullest, so you don't feel like, you don't feel constantly afraid of losing this relationship. And if you are in a relationship and you have already found the Magician, your Magician, and then you probably are at the stage, because if it's showing up for you in the relationship now, you're probably at a stage in your relationship where you're reconnecting on a deep level. So that could again trigger abandonment issues. So it's when we are, when we really are in love and we are feeling a strong connection, that's when we often then are scared of, what if we lose that, So just saying, you always have to focus on loving yourself and being centered within yourself. There's a lot of symbolism here in the Magician card. You have the eternity symbol here over the head. So it's a spiritual card. It's a spiritual relationship as well. It speaks of eternity, your eternal soulmate, not just someone you're dating. This is not just someone you are, with now. Like, this is someone that you have been with before, that you will meet up with again in future lives, that you're with in between lifetimes. So there's a deep spiritual bond, and once you really connect to that level in your relationship, it takes a lot of the fears away. And it can also be good to maybe do a little bit of a past life regression if you feel like there's stuff that's going on, especially if you have a lot of issues that you feel is coming up for you. Then maybe there's something then carried on from a past life. This is someone you've been with before, and it could have some karma from a past life, depending, especially in the beginning. Just see what happens in the beginning, or even if this is someone you've been with for a long time, what was going on in the beginning of the relationship. And number one as well, the Magician, it speaks of wanting to be number one. It is a bit of that competitive nature. It can be a competitive relationship as well, but it's like healthy competition, wanting to be the best that you can be. It's also symbolized as being with the one. So And it also speaks of being one with, you are one together, like this is a holy relationship. So with the Magician, that is a fantastic card to get in love. However, you need to have worked on yourself and loving yourself and all of these things. If not, this can be a relationship that triggers a lot of fears in you. And when you get it reversed, it doesn't necessarily have to be the love fraud of a complete narcissist. It can also just be that you meet your soulmate unprepared, and that you are just really not ready. And maybe your soulmate as well is not ready. And when the Magician is feeling triggered, it can be a very nasty personality. Someone who says nasty things, someone who says very hurtful things. And that can just then completely just create so much distance between you. It can also speak of when you are, even if you've been together for a while and you're having an argument where a lot of hurtful things are being said, and that takes a huge toll on the relationship. It just things that you take to heart, and it's hard to get past, basically. So it's just, take care of this relationship, what you're saying. And if you are being kind of like verbally abused, if that is a reoccurring thing in your relationship, then you're not with a healthy, you're not in a healthy relationship, and it might be not really, you have to really think, what toll is this actually taking on you physically and emotionally and spiritually? Maybe you have to re-investigate all the reasons why you're in this relationship. And a lot of times what you will find when, with the Magician reverse, it is that soulmate that maybe it was like a false soulmate, someone who pretends to be your soulmate. If you are with your soulmate and this is your soulmate, and you get the Magician reverse, and it could just be conflict in between you, and maybe one of you or maybe both of you said some really hurtful things that you just need to then learn to let go and forgive those things. You will know in your heart, but people that are in very abusive relationship with very narcissistic, even psychopathic people, they end up often breaking up, getting back together, breaking up, getting back together on an average 7 times before they're able to break free. If you're hoping against all hope that this person will be the way they were in the beginning, but then they were never like that again, you're just with a love fraud. If this is someone that you have a really good relationship with, but you have your moments, and this is just representing one of those moments, you'll know in your heart which one it is. So look at how the resources are also being. Sometimes you have to, if you're with a manipulator, which is the Magician reversed, that person, all the facts and all the, nothing matters other than the lie. So if you can be the one that are putting in all the efforts and all the resources, spending all the money and time and effort, and it doesn't matter, you still will be the bad one. So if that happens, there's no hope then for a relationship like that. But sometimes the Magician reverse will speak of misunderstandings as well, and then it's not like being with a love fraud, it's just different. And then it can also be miscommunication in the relationship, a hiccup, someone maybe said something hurtful that it's hard to get past, for example. So Magician upright, this is someone who you will be able to make laugh, this person will make you laugh. It's positive, good communication, it's a stimulating relationship, it stimulates you on all levels, okay, spiritually, emotionally, intellectually and physically. This is someone you are physically attracted to, you are stimulated intellectually, your heart is fulfilled, your soul, is fulfilled. You're happy with this person, and it can be a very stable, secure relationship. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a Magician and what it means in love and romance. Bye.